Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Go on, everybody.
More importantly, we have a special guest here today, Lindsey Anderson, contestant from Trust, a Game of Greed on Netflix. If you're a fan of the channel, obviously we've had a lot of discussions over the last 3 weeks. The finale review will have also just dropped on our channel as well, so make sure you go check that out. Lindsey, thank you for joining us.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for having me on today. I'm really looking forward to this discussion.
We're really excited to have you, Lindsey. You were really in the thick of it during this show for sure. You, I guess, at one point were members of both alliances, and we'll get to all that kind of gameplay stuff. But kind of just off the top, though, one, how would you just like characterize your experience on the Trust? And do you think now going back and watching the whole show being out, do you think you were portrayed fairly on the show?
So my experience to answer that question, I am a huge fan of reality TV. I've watched Big Brother for the last 19 years with my husband. I love Big Brother. I love The Mole. I love The Circle. So to be on the other side of the camera was a mind-blowing, once-in-a-lifetime experience. Yes, please. So glad I signed up, period. Okay. Cool. As far as was I portrayed fairly? I mean, it depends on your version of fair. Were there some more positive personality traits that would have been real nice for Netflix to do me a solid and put out there? Yeah, absolutely. But are those parts of me that you saw on the show parts of me? Yeah, absolutely. They are.
Reality TV stuff. I'm glad to hear that. It's interesting. Being a reality TV fan, did you find yourself while you're in these situations kind of thinking about how it would come off, or maybe how you've seen things in other shows, or is it once you're kind of in the thick of it, that all kind of goes out the window and you're really just kind of reacting in the moment?
Yeah. So for me, yes, I was aware of that. It didn't do me any favors. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So if you're on Big Brother, so if you're on Big Brother, so one of my biggest mistakes I made in the house was asking Tolu to let me have my time with the boys. Okay. Now in Big Brother, doing something like that is 100% acceptable. You see this all of the time. And so I was not taking her feelings into account. Definitely wish I could do that better. But like, that's where it was coming from, was like, oh, you see this on Big Brother all the time. And same goes for like even talking to yourself. Like you'll see Big Brother contestants like talking to themselves and like they don't get, this kind of feedback on such a thing. And so like, I didn't really think that would be a big deal. And so, yeah, I was aware. And then I would say that as far as I just did not give enough credit to the edit. Like, oh, they're just like showing like little slivers of me. Like when you only know that much about me, I don't really blame the internet for being so upset with me.
All right. So you just described that, like how you were viewed on the show, but, how would you say like the people that your family and your friends, like how did you think, like were you worried about their interpretation of you on the show, or like people you haven't talked to in a while that come out of the blue and be like, hey, I saw you here, like anything going on with that?
Yeah, so that's really interesting. So first of all, so I know you gentlemen have seen this, like she's drunk in all of her testimonials, like
yes,
for the longest time. That's just my personality. I actually don't drink much at all, really. And so, no, I'm not drinking on the show. But my family, my husband first showed me a joke like that, and I'm like, I don't really get it. Like, why are you comparing me to like that? And then, my family's like, I don't really get it. And it was like, oh, after we read more Reddit comments and we actually understood how the internet was viewing me. So overall, yeah, when I'm watching that, am I wondering like what my customers are thinking and stuff like that? But they've been also supportive. It's so weird because I feel like I'm a character that causes a lot of polarity. Like a lot of people really like me and a lot of people like really hate me. And it's really interesting. Anyone I went to high school with, anybody from my past, they're like, you played the best game. You are crazy. You're amazing. Da, 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 da. And then you get people who don't know me. So it's like comforting in a way that it's like, they know that I'm not just that 3D character on reality TV.
No, I agree. And I think for you, if you're talking about how the game played out and how it progressed, I really think everything really, unfortunately, and a lot of things really outside of your control turned for you when they revealed that you were buddies with them in the card game, right? And you had to yell at the guys after the fact. And so my kind of question and my thought process doing all that now talking to you is, do you think your reactions and really kind of how everything played out after the fact came from you being super competitive or being competitive at all? Or was it really that, and I said this, such a bad common sense move that it really, you just couldn't deal with it and it kind of broke your brain.
Yeah, so I mean, I went in extremely strategic, even like probably too strategic. So this is what you have to understand about my alliance to the boys, and that was they were not playing strategically. They hadn't really seen reality TV. I'm like knowing reality TV. I'm like, this is what's going to happen, guys. This is what's going to happen, and I would tell them like, this is what we're going to do and how we're going to get to the end, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. But the real problem is that the boys, whatever girl talked to them last, that's exactly who they would believe. And so if I could just get their ear, I knew they would be back on my side. And so I'm a mother of three. Okay. I have a 7-year-old. It's like, I tell them, like, I literally had this conversation with Gasper where I was like, dude, Tolu's going to come down. She's going to fake cry. She literally said she's going to fake cry. And she's going to get you to feel bad for her. So that's going to happen in about 10 minutes, dude. Okay. So what happens? 10 minutes later, Tolu walks downstairs, cry, cry, cry. Gasper, oh, she's not so bad. She's great. Maybe she is. So you have to understand that I'm like telling the boys, and as awesome as they are, it was like, I have 3 kids. I ask my kids to clean up their room, and then I ask them again, and then I ask them again. And then, eventually you're just going to lose your cool there, because I had already told them, like, cover my butt on that candle thing. Guys, think about it. So yeah, I was frustrated, but there was like a lot more than just like me being pissed one day.
That makes sense though. Like if you haven't seen any reality TV shows, like you don't know how any of this stuff works. And if you're, like you said, like a vet of watching it, like you can understand and kind of predict movements. And it's a shame it just didn't work out for you.
I know. I mean, admittedly, after saying all of that, my temper didn't. I mean, that was I lost my own self that game, period.
Was there ever a moment when this show first started, and I know episode 1, you kind of didn't trust a lot of people didn't really trust the undercover cop. Everyone thought he was a playboy. Turns out he's just like a nice, wonderful man nice, wonderful man that you guys railroaded
himself.
You guys railroaded. Was there ever though just a moment before even all of that where you guys found out the premise of the show, or like, guys, we could just ride this out. We could all just go on vacation for a week and split it. Do you think there was ever a moment where you thought that could happen?
I mean, not for me, knowing reality TV. Whitney came in literally, and that first line is like, snip, snip. We're going to get everybody out. Like, I mean, the girls, to their amazing credit, and why I even joined up with them, they were there to play. So no.
I agree. No, I agree. And I think it's interesting. I think, frankly, I mean, we're going to we have a segment coming up where we have some funny comments and you can react to them. Internet was not too harsh on you, but really who they're really, really hard on, and we're fans of, was your rival was Tolu. Then I've never seen somebody getting crapped on so much for just like playing a game and saying, you know what, and standing with it. And if you're going to be anti somebody, if you're not on her alliance, she went after you. Right. And she played that game. And I'm just curious now, your opinion now of Tolu. Has that changed post the game, or once the cameras went off, or do you guys maybe still kind of have a little bit of a rivalry, say, post the show?
Yeah, so I would say no. In fact, I just got back from LA with the cast doing some of this like more promo stuff, and it was really nice to connect with Tolu and Winnie. What you did not see, and it's really unfortunate, you see on the show, we're both like crying and I can't let my defenses down because y'all piss me off so much. And we go off and vote. We came back to the table. They did not show this. Brooke's doing something or whatever. And Tolu and I actually make amends across the table. Like, I'm sorry, I love you. And I wish, like, it was 10 minutes too freaking late, which is why I was so happy to hug everyone on the way out. And like, it was a true experience. So 10 minutes too late, but I think I'm getting closer to learning about keeping my cool. So
would you still give Gasper a hug? Kind of.
Oh yeah. So Gasper was the first one I reached out to. I will tell you what though. Okay. I mean, you can't fault Gasper. You can't fault the guy. I lost the cool on him, but, him and I I would say we were the closest in the house. Speaking of Big Brother, I came right in that first day, and I know who you have that first alliance with typically is who you go to the end with. I was immediately drawn to Gasper, obviously for obvious reasons. Plus, we both have small kids at home. We had a lot in common that way. So I walk up to him on the first day and I corner him on the porch. I'm like, hey, you want to be in an alliance together? Me and you to the end. What do you think? And he was just like, what the hell, lady? Like, what? Like, half-hearted, maybe. Okay. And that got around the house real quick because I was playing too much. And so I really had to pull my game back. And that was like one of the reasons why I felt like I had to cast a vote that very first time, because everyone was coming after me because I was playing too hard. And so the girls were, they were ready to vote Joelle's out. There was like the whole situation with him not picking Tolu and withholding her vote. Like, they were mad. And I was like, I got to do an insurance vote here. I want to be with these guys. I'm doing it.
If you had made it through that vote where you were eliminated, would you have been done playing as far as trying to get anybody out, or do you think you still would have kept going?
Oh, for me, I would have not voted anybody out. I'm there. I was literally there for the team as long as I was not in danger.
Makes sense.
No, I agree. I was very much of a proponent of saying that you can be out for yourself first and still be a team player. You need to be out. You need to be on the team to be a team player.
Yeah, that's kind of my point, and I think it got lost in my outbursts about it. So
yeah, because when you said that at the final, like, you're going and you're like, I can, like, whatever, then you said like, I can be a team player but for myself, and for people who didn't understand that, and like Bill and I were like, we totally get that. That makes so much sense. Like, you can't be for the team if you're eliminated.
yeah, and I really learned that a lot through like motherhood, because it's really easy to get stressed and those kind of things. And like, really one of the most important things I have to show up best for my kids. So you got to take what you need to do that. Otherwise you're not serving at all.
Right.
Okay, so this is a segment we have on interviews. I'm calling it "How Does This Make You Feel?"
Oh
And
no.
some of these are about you specifically, some about the show. Let's just go see. So, Lindsey, how does this make you feel? First one says, "I think Lindsey is the most annoying. She looks drunk and crazed, but fun to have a new reality show."
I mean, I think that tracks. I'm gonna go with sounds great. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Next one was a comment to that same comment. "She's definitely got a loose screw."
Oh, was that my husband who wrote that one? Actually,
This was at personal cheese 8073.
Again, like,
Burner.
I mean, in my defense, I mean, definitely I looked a little crazed on reality. Like, that's all you know about me or my emotional outbursts over a 3-week period. Yeah, there you go. I could give you another clip.
This is a good one. This one is Lindsey is ominous. Her comments in the confessional make me cringe.
I mean, so I do know that I speak very loudly, and like, I teach a lot. I have a lot of online courses. This is not the first time people have been like, Lindsey, I'm at your workshop and I have to turn down the volume. Like, this kind of feedback is something, this is just me, believe it or not. Like, I am trying to be controlled right now. So, I mean, imagine.
Okay. This is a good one. This is not just about you specifically, though. "If it were all men, they would have walked away with a lot more money. Women in the equation are awful."
Oh, I disagree. I disagree because there never would have been a show.
I think all of the guys would have gotten eliminated really early on if it was more of the women. So no, they wouldn't have made more money. And this is the last one I'll give you. D-Bar said, "They are all actors, right? I mean, these people can't actually exist."
I mean, we do. And again, those 11 cast members, they were from all walks of life, and like, they are all really awesome people. So we do exist. Again, that's a caricature on TV, and it's funny.
No, listen, I love the show. We love the show. We're big Netflix reality fans. Obviously, we do everything else. The Love Is Blinds, what else? With The Circle, we've done what's so the Perfect Match. Yeah, we've
Ultimatum.
Ultimatum. What else with Brian? We just finished Singles Inferno.
Yeah, I did Singles Inferno.
Oh, that's cool.
So all over for the show. So we're excited to see you guys. And honestly, I think it was awesome. I'm really glad that it came. I hope that they do more of it. Lindsey, before we go, anything that you want to get out there? Anything you want the people to know? Anything that you have going on?
Well, I'll say this. If you, follow me on TikTok and Instagram, I do a lot more insightful stuff. I talk a lot about the trust and Netflix and how that applies to my life and how that's kind of working out. So I just invite everybody who's listening to go to @the.lindsey.anderson. And just thank you so much for having me on. And everybody who's a big fan of me, thank you so much. Everybody who's taken the time to even reach out and be like, I don't like you. Thank you for taking the time. Time is short these days. So I do appreciate you thinking about me in whatever way that is.
No, make sure to check her out. We'll make sure to throw those socials in the episode description. We'll definitely do it when we do our posts as well. But again, thank you for your time. Everybody watching, as always, we really appreciate your time. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We are going to try to do hopefully more of these for the trust and do all your other Netflix reality shows. So for myself, Brian, Lindsey, everybody at the Reality Guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace.